it gives the peer mentors a purpose of getting into like a work environment so that can help them in the future to get jobs and experience. It teaches them about policies, and because a lot of them have been out of work, never been in work, and also it gives the navigators somebody to manage closely, as the navigators, especially the leads team, have all been peer mentors. So it's that throughput of actually seeing that if you put the hard work in, yeah, you can actually come through and get a job out of it in the end.
Well, it helped me sort of build a foundation to structure my life around that and sort of build on getting a career for myself, really. Any sort of needs that had been identified where I was, say, weak in an area, I got the support to allow me to develop it in that area in my own time. So, like, I remember, speaking to large groups, I struggled with that confidence and sort of having conviction in what I was doing and saying. As yeah, I've needed support with that over quite a while to get to that point where I can do that. So it helped with my confidence, self esteem, also like admin skills as well, learning how to use a computer, communication over the phone, like communicating with people, record keeping, all the stuff that you need to be a good support worker as well. Um, that's the thing. I mean, I always believed I had a good connection with service users through my sort of recovery background, but I lacked that professionalism. That's the thing, and it's about, for me, we're fine tuning that to get to the point where I were employable.
So peer mentors aid mutual learning within the teams by bridging the gap between client and professional. When a peer mentor is involved with a navigator and a beneficiary, the engagement between the services tends to increase. So it shows that the learning that can be offered from using peer mentors can increase engagement through the adage of lived experience. If a client feels that a professional doesn't understand how their life is going, they tend not to engage with them. But if they have a peer mentor there who possibly has been walked a mile in their shoes, they will tend to open up and engage and tend to use the service a bit more.
I've got a role as a peer mentor, and I think structured support's been really, really important in me achieving my goals. And I don't think if I didn't have structured support, I wouldn't have achieved my goals that I set out for myself. I think as a peer mentor, you get two types of structured support. You get support from the organisation that you're working within, which isn't usually in the form of a formal supervision, which is done it's done regular actually, probably monthly. And you also get support from the Education, Training and Employment Department, which I've been peer mentoring for nearly a year, and I've seen them 3 times now, so I think that's quite frequent, really. And I think they work hand in hand, especially when I first started peer mentoring, and I didn't seem to be moving on as quickly as what I thought that I would be doing. I didn't really know what it involved and how I was going to get where I was going, and things seemed to be moving quite slowly, so I got quite frustrated. But I got support from the ET department, and this was a place where I could discuss my frustrations. I could talk about the experiences that I was having, and we could sort of come up with a plan of how I dealt with that and how we could improve things. This then I could take back to my supervision and discuss what support I was getting from the ET department. Both support that I get are always focused on discussing what my goals are. Initially, it's a place where you can identify what your goals are, because sometimes you don't know what your goals are that you're trying to achieve. You don't know where you are at the time, how you're going to get there, and what means you need to get to where you're going. So I found having structured support was a place that I could sit down and discuss openly and honestly and reflect on where I was at that particular time. For example, training and education, it's a good place where you can discuss what you're wanting to achieve from a place where you're doing your peer mentoring, as to what supervision is an area where you can discuss what opportunities are available, what training opportunities, and what will benefit you to move towards your end goal.